This quest is hitting so close to home. As someone that works in graphic design, this is incredibly relatable.
Hey guys, and welcome to the archive. I decided to play every single Hangout event, rate them, and rank them on a tier list. Today, we're hanging out with the baby girl himself, Kaveh. I hope you enjoy the video.
Come on, not again. Isn't this the 6th proposal I've shown you? What's your issue this time?
It's a bit hard to put into words, but the design still doesn't look quite right to me.
A designer's nightmare. For anyone that deals with clients or other people when it comes to creative work, this is an incredibly relatable situation where you're being made to redo the same thing over and over and over again.
I have to say, that's a terribly vague and unconvincing explanation. Please enlighten me. What would feel more right to you?
Oh, he's angry.
For starters, don't you think this roof is jutting out a bit too far from the top? This door, too. I don't think it needs to be nearly this large.
The roof and the door are the most fundamental parts of a building. If we were to change them, then what would be left of the design?
Oh, actually, I just got an idea. Can we get rid of all the extraneous sections on the roof, so the whole design will just be one vertical structure, similar to that of a tree trunk?
Are you okay?
I really don't know how you managed to come up with such a ridiculous idea. Wait, don't tell me. Someone hired you specifically to commission me and put me through the ringer?
That's an insult.
Come to think of it, though, I really don't think I've gotten on anyone's bad side recently.
I mean, I can name a couple of people.
Anyway, that's it. I will not be working on this commission anymore. Goodbye.
Stand up for yourself. I mean, you lose out on the commission, but it seems like a headache and it's probably taking up more time than it's worth, so yeah. Kaveh looks like he's in a bad mood. I should check up on him.
Taking this commission was truly the worst decision ever.
Are you alright?
Oh, hey. I wasn't expecting to run into you here. Actually, while we're on that, what are you doing here at the tavern? Don't listen to anyone who says that drinking is an elegant pastime. It's no good for your health.
I saw you arguing with someone just now.
So you saw all that, did you? Anyway, thanks for looking out for me. Honestly, it wasn't that big of a deal. I'm used to it by now. Stress is just an inescapable part of being a working adult. Boss, I'll have a glass of wine. Same as last time.
Wine in a glass of juice, coming right up.
Damn.
I know you're already keeping a secret from me, but if you could add this one to the list as well, I'd really appreciate it. Arguing with a client is not a good look for me. If word gets out, other potential clients might be afraid to work with me.
No problem.
That guy, though. What was he even going on about? All those ridiculous demands of his?
Kaveh seems a lot more honest after he's had some wine.
Another glass, please, boss.
Oh dear.
I'm not leaving today till someone has to carry me out.
Hey, do I have the strength to carry out? Probably. Well, we're the traveler, so.
You've got it, sir. I gotta say, though, it almost feels like you're saying that every other day now.
That's not good.
It really is every other day that you'd run into a client who knows nothing about construction requirements or architectural style. If this was in the past, I'd never have gone through 6 whole drafts trying to accommodate the client's preferences.
This quest is hitting so close to home. Just like, as someone that works in graphic design, this is incredibly relatable. Just having to deal with suggestions and recommendations that aren't exactly rooted in design knowledge, but at the same time you have to, extend your patience and understand that people can still have their preferences, and that's completely valid. However, a lot of the time this can also delve into outdated or misinformed ideas. Again, this is the whole thing about working with people and working with clients. It's its own skill. You have to sort of remove your ego and pride as a designer and extend a lot of patience and understanding. When it comes to architecture and his line of work, though, I would probably say it's much more important to take his advice, because that's not something that you can play with and say, hey, I want to do this, and it actually isn't structurally sound.
But perhaps getting used to this just means that I've grown numb to it. I've worked on so many projects since graduation, and none of them have been approved at the first pass.
Growing numb to client suggestions and feedback is definitely something. Again, it's up to you to sort of guide them in the right direction and try to meet them halfway and see like, hey, I see where you're coming from. I see what you want and what you want to achieve and what you like. Maybe this is what else we could do. Maybe these are other things. These are other options based on my own knowledge and based on what you like. And this is how we can probably meet halfway, you know?
I would spend a lot of time altering my designs, and by the time the clients were finally satisfied, all my passion and enthusiasm would be gone. It feels like I'm straying further and further from my artistic vision with every change I have to make.
This is hitting so close. I didn't expect this to hit so close to home. I was set up for a happy-go-lucky hangout with Kaveh, but this is so true.
I suppose, though, that just sticking to your guns and completely disregarding other people's feedback would also not be a good thing.
Yep, that's true. Don't be difficult.
All of this makes for a real paradox, one that particularly crops up in my work, too. In the end, what is the true meaning of art?
Here's your drink. How are you already spouting nonsense after just one glass?
Boss, what do you think is the meaning of art?
The meaning of art? Really, my friend, who in Sumeru understands art better than you? Anyway, I don't know about art, but I do know that I'm interested in business, and some patrons are waiting to be served. So, you'll have to excuse me for now. Just holler if you need anything.
What do you think, traveler?
Are you okay? First of all, art is something that embodies the creator's efforts and dedication.
Exactly. So our thoughts on the meaning of art are rather similar. It's too bad that I'm not in my best form today. Otherwise, we could have talked about this for a little longer.
I'll help you convince the clients to come to your side.
Thanks for offering, but you've seen how he is. He understands nothing about my design, and all the suggestions he made were as if he just wanted to mock me. If I managed to get him to see things my way, then this project would also gain recognition from many people.
Think of it as a challenge as well. Like, if you can convince him, then that's, a challenge that you've overcome and you've learned more, you've learned from the experience. That's something very valuable,
You've got a point. Let's hear him out one more time, then. Time to get going. I know where we'd be able to find the guy.
Kaveh, what are you doing here?
I've changed my mind. I was overreacting earlier. Can we try discussing the project some more?
My apologies as well. Now that I think about it, some of my requests were indeed a bit unreasonable.
Now that we've got that out of the way, I think we can have a more productive conversation. To be perfectly honest, your commission request has been the most peculiar one I've ever received. Even now, I still know nothing about the building's intended purpose. I've produced several draft proposals for you to choose from, and you've rejected every single one.
Yes, I've given this some thought already. I think we can go with the general direction of the latest proposal that you just showed me. Can we get some less expensive materials for the floor tiles? The timber here as well. We should be able to find some substitutes.
So, let me get this straight. You want to reduce the cost of the project, right? But if we implement your suggestions, then I'm afraid we have to scrap the entire design. If all you need is a building with a roof that can keep people dry in the rain, you shouldn't have commissioned me.
Are you absolutely sure that there's no room for any changes in this draft of the design?
I think the most important thing for me is to understand what you would actually like to get.
I want to build something unique. Something quiet and warm inside. A refuge that can block out the world outside. I want all who enter this building to be able to temporarily forget everything that's going on outside of the building and just focus on their task at hand.
Well, that sounds nice.
Cutting costs by substituting building materials will not only detract from the overall effect of the building, it also won't save you much more in the grand scheme of things.
Thank you for giving it so much thought. Please give me some more time to mull over the budget. I'll get back to you once I've figured out a solution. I still have a few business meetings that I must attend, so I'm afraid I'll have to leave for now. You can just leave the proposal as is. I'll get in touch once I've given it some more thought.
Why do I feel like he's hiding something?
I also have a similar feeling.
Should we follow him and see if anything unusual comes up? That's stalkerish. But I mean, we've followed people before, so.
Is that really okay? I mean, what he does now is none of our business.
Yeah, that's true.
He does seem really suspicious, though. He dresses like a rich person, but when you talk to him, he hardly sounds the part.
To me, it just seemed I don't get the suspicious thing.
That's actually pretty common. Not all rich people are spendthrifts. Many are just, as if not more, stingy than him. The more mora some people have, the more they love interfering with people's lives. Like constantly reminding you to pay back your debts, or hinting every other day that it's time for you to pay rent.
I wonder who that is.
We should find him again and get some clearer answers. Oh, hey, look! Isn't that Badawi? It sure looks like him, but he's dressed completely different now. What is he up to?
Didn't I tell you before? I'm not looking for more workers. Plus, aren't you a bit old for physical labor? If something happens to you, I won't be able to pay for it.
Oh, you won't have to worry about that. I grew up as an Eremite mercenary and worked in the desert my entire life. My body's still in great shape.
Yeah, I can see that.
You used to be an Eremite mercenary?
I know there are a lot of bad apples in our ranks, but most are just trying to make a living.
I'm sorry, but I still can't take you in. I don't have any open positions right now and don't have the mora for anything more. How about this? Why don't you try your luck somewhere else?
She basically just said, get lost.
Okay.
He used to be a member of the Eremites? Huh. From the way he was dressed, I would have thought he was a merchant from the rainforest. We meet again.
Huh? Why are you guys here?
That's what we wanted to ask you. Who are you? Why did you dress up like a merchant to talk to me about our project? There's no need for us to continue this project if you still want to keep hiding things from us. I don't work with individuals I can't trust.
Believe me, I didn't have any bad intentions. It's just... All right, there's no point hiding anything anymore. The building I'm trying to commission you for is not really a personal residence for me, but rather a library for children living in the desert.
Why didn't you say so in the first place?
A library? Funded entirely by yourself? Shouldn't this be the responsibility of the academia?
You're right, and I was aware of these happenings as well. I just figured what I want to do is a separate effort from what's already being done by the academia.
There's nothing wrong with that.
The desert is too vast. Even if the academia spends a lot of effort trying to disseminate knowledge in those parts, it might still take decades, if not centuries. All I know is that as a desert dweller, we should not wait passively for good things to happen to us. I don't have much longer left on this world, so I just want to use whatever time I have to contribute something to my homeland.
Damn. Why didn't you just tell us that from the start?
I didn't want you to know that I came from the desert. I've lived in the desert my entire life, and there wasn't anyone here that I could trust.
To the point that you even disguised your identity? That's certainly taking playing it safe to the next level. Hold on. Don't tell me you've also been scammed before.
When I first came to Sumeru City, I brought a lot of Mora, hoping to find an architect that I could work with.
Oh dear.
Someone agreed to take on the project, and even took a sum of Mora from me, but then disappeared without a trace. I spent a while collecting information in the city, and eventually learned that you're the most famous architect in all of Sumeru. I figured that you wouldn't need to make Mora by scamming people, so I decided to reach out to you.
A while ago, I accepted an offer to work on a project in the desert, and was also scammed out of a large sum of Mora. According to him, I looked like an easy target because I was an academia scholar who didn't have any family or friends in the desert.
Those kinds of things do happen every once in a while, yes. Folks like him are the exact reason why us desert dwellers' reputation has gone down the drain. I must apologize to you on their behalf.
You don't have to apologize for them. They're not you, you're not them.
It's all right. You were also scammed by someone from Kasharwar after all. I should apologize to you on their behalf. Ultimately, neither of our experiences had anything to do with the desert or the rainforest. People who are new to an area are always easy targets for criminals.
Bad people are everywhere.
Anyway, I digress. Let's return to the topic at hand. Did you keep rejecting my designs because you thought I was deliberately using expensive materials to take a cut as a middleman?
That's what I was afraid of initially, yes. But unfortunately, I still don't have nearly enough Mora to pay for the design you proposed.
Understandable.
I've done the math and know that we should be able to make it if we cut some corners. However, after our conversations, I can see that you're passionate about your design, and I'm quite fond of the proposal as well.
Maybe I can help fund the project, you know? Well, technically I don't have much more at the moment, but...
So, I decided to try and see if I can afford your proposal as is. I've been looking for work every day, and in another month, I should be able to cobble together enough Mora to meet the budget.
Hey, okay, what if I fund it? Because both of you are broke.
By cobble together, you mean you're going to spend your entire life savings on this project? But then, what will you do if something unexpected comes up?
I haven't really thought about that. I mean, when you've lived to be my age and something happens, you can't really call it unexpected anymore. All I want is to build this library before I leave this world, so that the children of the future would have some books to read, and the desert dwellers would be able to learn their letters and pick up some practical knowledge.
You seem really passionate about this project.
I know the desert life, and can predict what the problems will be. Many children from the desert have had neither the interest nor the proper environment to learn. So even if the academia would take them in, once they enter the halls, they might find themselves surrounded by other children who look and act very differently from them. And as a result, they might become socially isolated.
Yes, I can imagine that. My father passed away at an early age. Even though I had a good number of friends during my years at the academia, for some time I still sensed many critical looks in my direction.
Why? Because what? Children can be mean. Well, people can be mean. Why would they judge you for... what?
I'm sure a child coming all the way from the desert will have an even harder time. But let's bring this back to the building itself. I think you said that you want this building to be quiet and warm. Building it according to the current plan will be quite costly. Any ideas on what we can do?
Would any other merchants be willing to sponsor the project? Me! I want to sponsor it.
Sponsor the project? You mean convince wealthy merchants to join our cause? A library is a big project, and it's going to be hard to fund it with just a single person's Mora. What do you think? If we can find others to sponsor the project, we could potentially increase the size of the building 2- or 3-fold.
It's all fine with me, but where do you think we'll be able to find these sponsors?
Well, you're right. If I really think about it, I'm not too familiar with many big-name merchants.
Can we ask Dory?
Her? Hard pass. With her shrewd and greedy personality, she would never put Mora into something like this.
Well, maybe she can connect us with some of her contacts?
Now there's an idea. She probably won't say no if all she'll need to do is to make some introductions instead of spending Mora. Let's go and pay her a visit.
Oh, now here are some unexpected guests. What brings you to the Palace of Alcazar's-Ray? When I saw Kaveh, I almost thought it must be that time of month again.
Hey, can't you think of something else for a change? You are literally living in an objet d'art, and yet your mind is still fixated on nothing but Mora? Is your happiness entirely dependent on your hoard of cold, emotionless Mora?
That's exactly right. Mora is extremely valuable, you see. If you ask me, this place is still way too empty. Just give me some time and I'll fill it to the brim with lots and lots of Mora.
Okay, Scrooge McDuck.
You're hopeless.
Let's get back to why we're here.
Oh, so you have an actual reason to visit me? Alright, let's hear it.
We would like to ask for your help in introducing us to some merchants.
Merchants? Why? Is there some kind of business opportunity? So you're just looking for someone to help you fit the bill.
Mm-hmm.
I knew you wouldn't be interested in something like this. Still, you wouldn't refuse just making some introductions for us, would you?
Sure, I can connect you with some folks, but with every service comes a fee, you know.
Really?
A fee? You mean just for introductions?
And since we've known each other for so long, though, I'll give you a huge returning customer discount. How about 500,000 Mora?
500,000 Mora?
500,000?
Really?
I guess that's okay. But why are you charging a fee before we've even secured any funding? That just doesn't seem right.
Yeah, 500,000. That's like two talent levels.
Besides, by helping us out, you'd be doing a great service to the public.
Very well. Since you're so passionate about this project, I'll help you out and waive the introduction fees. 3 of my business partners came by earlier today to discuss some things with me. I'll arrange a meeting for you. And just so we're clear, it'll be up to you to present your project and discuss any deals.
Thank you.
Dory gave us a brief introduction about the two of you. To be frank, I don't feel like there's an obvious business opportunity here. So, let's hear your idea.
All right, here's the situation. I've been commissioned to build a library in the desert.
So it's a public welfare project.
Correct.
Then the commission fees will likely be very low. You should be careful.
I'm not too concerned about how much I'll get for the commission fees, actually. I just want to get this project rolling as soon as possible. We're just a little short on funding.
So what? You can't possibly expect that we just cover the shortfall for you.
I mean, that's why we're here trying to discuss it, to see if you would be willing to do a charitable donation, essentially.
Besides, what does a library in the desert have to do with us? If you want to build it yourself with your own Mora. Seems simple enough to me.
If we could, we'd be doing it, but we can't, and that's why we're here, to see if any of you are kind enough to donate some money.
Hey, there's no need to be so harsh. They are Dory's associates after all. Here, can you tell us a bit more about what we can gain from sponsoring this project?
You can get Kaveh's client to advertise your businesses in the desert.
So we'd mostly be doing it for reputation and exposure?
Well, just speaking for myself, I've got nothing in the
Okay,
desert.
bye. I don't need to hear from you. Thank you.
I also have a concern. It feels like there's not much to profit from in the short term. But in the long term, the reputation gain also doesn't sound like it'd offset the cost of the sponsorship.
Mm-hmm.
Then how about this? What if, instead of building a single library, we commit to an entire complex of buildings dedicated to culture and education?
Wouldn't that just cost more?
Yes, but in that case... Mr. Kaveh, please tell us what you have in mind.
Thank you.
I'll just give an example. If we were to build a library and a school near Aru Village, then the desert dwellers would gradually begin to migrate towards the area. A whole suite of buildings will be able to host more traffic, and thus drive the economic development of the entire area. In turn, that would lead to direct business opportunities.
Education in the desert is indeed an industry that has not been tapped into. If we can be the first to place stakes in the area.
Mm-hmm.
And you just believe anything he tells you?
I swear to God, if you don't shut up.
Even the greenest amateurs know that urban planning will affect population flow.
If we're going to build a library in the desert, Aru Village would obviously be the best place for it. But it seems we're not the only ones with our eyes on the village. I heard a rumor a while back saying a lot of land and buildings in Aru Village have already been secretly purchased by a big-name merchant. In other words, if we try to join the fray now, there won't be much left for us.
We can wait for Aru Village to develop more first and get into the market for expansion to other areas.
But if you were to do that...
Is there nothing else to discuss? Great timing! I pretty much heard all I want to hear. If there are no other urgent matters, I'll be on my way.
Bye-bye.
It seems like the others are not interested in funding this, so no point in me doing this on my own. Let's revisit this another time.
Damn.
Hey, guys, wait! Well, what can I say? I guess it went somewhat as expected. Looks like we'll have to figure out some other way to get the funding. Let's go.
Damn.
Oh, where did all that passion go from earlier, I take it you weren't able to find a sponsor for your project?
Please don't tell me that you're here to mock us.
What kind of person do you take me for? I will say, though, I more or less expected this outcome even before I introduced them to you.
So then why did you introduce them to us?
You can try to talk up the project all you want, but the facts will remain the same. This project is high investment with slow returns.
But this isn't just a business project, right?
Mm-hmm. It's a welfare project.
Also, if you already knew no one would want to partner with us, why did you still try to charge me 500,000 mora? You scammer!
Damn.
You might want to remember who your creditor is before you start talking like that, Kaveh.
I'll pay back every last coin that I still owe you, but that's a completely different matter.
Alright, since you're so devastated about this, I'll set you up for dinner with another big-name merchant. In fact, I'll be inviting the most famous merchant in all of Sumeru.
What? Really? I would like to sincerely apologize for my attitude just now. So, where would we be meeting this merchant?
Follow me. Oh, I suppose both of you can come.
Thanks.
This is the place.
You said you're going to introduce us to the most famous merchant in Sumeru. Well, where are they?
You still don't get it, huh? The most famous merchant in Sumeru...
Is you?
Huh? So you meant yourself all along? Then why did you bring us here?
Well, I've given it some thought, and that complex of education and culture buildings that you mentioned does hold some promise.
Seriously? Where's this generosity coming from so suddenly? Are you trying to scam me again?
The reasons are not important. What's important is that I'm willing to help you. However, you know just as well as me that once this project actually breaks ground, it'll start sucking Mora from my pockets like crazy. So, to cut costs...
I get it. I won't charge any commission fees, and I'll take responsibility for the entire project.
Splendid! Then let's sign the contract right away.
This way, the children of the desert will have some books to read. Their lives should improve a bit after this.
You seem rather pleased.
Of course, there are a few things better than using my knowledge to help other people change their fates. I must thank you as well, Dory. I used to say you only cared about Mora, which might have been some prejudice on my part. Sorry for that. I will also try to pay back my debts as soon as possible. Now, let's have a quick discussion. Where would you want the library to be built?
There's no rush. I'll provide you with a copy of the deed when we get back.
Huh? The deed?
You don't mean...
So hold on a sec. The person who has been buying up everything around Aru Village was you all along?
Oh,
Oh my, did I not tell you about that? Yep, yours truly has been buying up all the land. I must thank you for bringing your ideas to me. Before our conversation, I had no idea what to build on all those lots.
damn.
So, from my perspective, this has been a great turn of events.
But what about my commission fees?
Huh? Didn't you waive those yourself? I was just gonna say that to cut costs. We mustn't procrastinate and should start construction as soon as possible.
Dory, I swear to God. Oh my gosh.
But before I could finish my sentence, you volunteered to waive your commission fees and even promised to take responsibility for the whole project from start to finish.
It's obvious that you used every trick in the book to deceive me. You deliberately paused for a long time while talking about the project and kept glancing at me with that menacing look in your eyes.
Huh? You really think so? Well, the contract's already been signed, so there's no point in dwelling on the details. You know what? I'll pay for tonight's dinner.
Fine, I'll drop the argument on the commission fees. But since you said you're paying for dinner, I'm going to order the best dishes and booze this place has to offer, and lots of it. Tonight, we're feasting until I've recouped my full commission fees.
Hey. Cute. Wait a minute. I have to recoup my fees. That was really cute.
We are going to be ending the video here. The rest of the Hangout event will be released soon, or right now if you're from the future. But if you have any suggestions on which Hangout event I should do next, don't be shy to leave a comment. Also, if you enjoyed this video, you can leave a like or subscribe. Hope to see you next time. Bye bye!